I love mushrooms. One of my favorite foods are mushrooms. Very likely, eating mushrooms not only gives you good dietary fiber for your gut microbiome, but also has some of these other probiotic benefits as well. I love mushrooms. One of my favorite foods are mushrooms. You know, the lowly white button mushroom that everybody has had. I've been doing research on it, and it's got beta-D-glucan, which is a soluble fiber. The fiber is prebiotic, but mushrooms, of course, grow naturally in the wild. Many times they're forested, they're harvested from the wild, but even when they're grown kind of in a dark place that has lots of bacteria, and so very likely eating mushrooms not only gives you good dietary fiber for your gut microbiome, but also has some of these other probiotic benefits as well. What's interesting is that most people who buy a mushroom, and I'm just talking about the lowly white button mushroom right now, what do? You bring it home, you might rinse it off, you put it on a cutting board, you cut off the cap, which is what we eat, and I used to do this myself, throw away the stems, but it turns out when you look at the amount of the soluble fiber, beta-D-glucan, which is good for your gut, and by the way, good for your vascular system as well, and good for your immune system, and another health defense system, it turns out that the stem, it's called the stipe, actually has twice as much of the beta-glucan as the cap. And so I always tell people, when I do this myself now, I always find something to do with the stem. Go back to many cultures, Latin American cultures, Mediterranean cultures, Asian cultures, they're always using the stem for their food. You slice it up, you can put it into a blender, there's all those kinds of things you can actually do with it. And then what's interesting is if you then take a look at the fact that the lowly white button mushroom, it has a lot of good stuff to it. Let's step it up and see what these other mushrooms that are eaten can do. Golden chanterelle mushrooms, packed, loaded with beta-glucan. Porcini mushrooms, another kind of culinary mushroom, really delicious, also loaded with beta-D-glucan. Maitake mushroom from Asia, tons of beta-D-glucan. And so mushrooms actually have beta-D-glucan, and beta-D-glucan is actually a soluble fiber that feeds your gut microbiome, so it improves gut health, which means that it actually improves your immunity and it actually lowers inflammation. The other thing that it can actually do is to help produce these short-chain fatty acids that help your lipids, so you can actually lower your cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, and dip better good cholesterol. Beta-D-glucan also in mushrooms actually also up your metabolism. But here are some of the ones that actually stand out. Oyster mushrooms, they actually are absolutely delicious to eat, packed with dietary fiber. Let's see. Oh, look at these. This is a royal trumpet mushroom. Look how big this guy is. This you'd want to kind of slice up and saute so that it's almost like a steak. This is a very meaty mushroom. Let's see, some hedgehog mushrooms. These are tiny guys. They kind of look like chanterelles, also very delicious. And here's some real chanterelles, one of my favorite mushrooms, chanterelle mushrooms. Chanterelles actually have a lot of beta-D-glucan. And let's see, creminin, also very good. This actually is used in lots of great recipes. And then something unusual, shiitake. Shiitake actually has a ton of beta-D-glucan. All right. Now, when you're cooking with mushrooms, you might actually get the top and cut off the stem, but I want you to keep the stem. The stem has twice as much beta-D-glucan. So if you're going to use mushrooms, cook with the stems as well. You might make them separately, but cook with them. All right. Now check this out. This is unusual. Cordyceps mushrooms. Okay, this is actually an herbal mushroom. Very beautiful. Look at how delicate these actually are. Cordyceps, actually a medicinal mushroom, actually has different bioactives in it that actually can activate your immune system as well, and your angiogenesis circulatory defensors. Check this out. Oyster mushrooms. Look at these. These are actually amazing natural mushrooms that actually have beta-glucan, which actually boosts our immune systems, anti-angiogenic, cancer-starving, and they're a good source of vitamin D. We all need to actually boost our vitamin D in our bodies to help our immune system. Check this baby out. I found fresh porcini mushrooms. This is called Boletus edulis. It is a mushroom that is used, prized for cooking. Absolutely delicious. Usually find it dry, and I would cook with it in risotto or whatever. But this is really a really cool find, especially this time of the year. Fresh porcini mushrooms. So I bought a small bag of it, and I want to show you what I cook it with. But first, I want to tell you what's in it. All right. So the thing about mushrooms is that they contain a natural bioactive called beta-glucan. Beta-glucan is a soluble fiber, good for the gut microbiome, boosts the immunity, and actually has been shown to be cancer-starving. So this is part of the Eat to Beat Disease kind of formula, porcini mushrooms, and they taste really, really great. Meaty, nutty, absolutely delicious. So where is the beta-glucan? It is in both the cap. Let me show you the cap. Here's the cap. And it's in the stem. And for porcini, okay, you want to make sure that you're actually eating the stem as well. You just slice this by the side. Let me show you a bigger one right here. All right, so do not just eat the cap. You want to eat both. Slice up the cap, slice up the stem, and you'll get your beta-glucan. So, you know, some people love mushrooms, some people don't, but everybody should love them because, number one, they grow right from the ground. They suck up all those really nice nutrients from the ground. If it's growing in clean ground, we've got to protect our earth, have a good planet so that our food is really safe. But inside the mushroom, there is a natural compound called beta-glucan, that is found in the cap of the mushroom that we cut up, right, and eat. And that stimulates the immune system directly. But here's a real surprise. Regardless of whether it's a shiitake mushroom, a maitake mushroom, a portobello mushroom, or even the lowly white button mushroom, but researchers have found that the stems, called the stipe, actually contains up to 3 times more beta-glucan than the cap. Cap is good, stem is better. Next time you eat mushrooms, eat them both. My recommendation is take, only about 1/3 of what your brain tells you to take, put it on your plate. Enjoy what you're eating, choose the right things, and lean into the foods that you love.